Good morning. You join me here in Southwest Ireland in the pretty town of Skibbereen. So what are we doing here? What are we doing here? So we're actually just about to start on the first of our major driving days. We're doing something called the Jaunted Cat. The Jaunted Cat is a route all the way across the 5 peninsulas of Southwest Ireland, comprising of the Sheep's Head, Mizen Head, the Dingle Peninsula, the Beara Peninsula, and also the very famous Ring of Kerry. So we're hoping to cover this off in the next 3 or 4 days. All of the guidance and all of the routes been kindly provided by Peter Simpson. Peter, if you don't know him, is a big Jaguar enthusiast, and he's actually written his own book called The Curved Road. So a couple of years ago we actually did one of his routes up to Northumberland and Hadrian's Wall, which was excellent. So it was a natural choice to look at using one of Peter's routes for our holiday here in the southwest of Ireland. So how do we get to Skibbereen? Well, we set off a couple of days ago from Northamptonshire. We went down to Carmarthen in Wales, where we stayed overnight, and we had the very tight car park. In fairness, the hotel was lovely, and we had an excellent penthouse suite at the top of the hotel, which was spotless and very, very well specified. Excellent accommodation. Highly recommend the Spilman Hotel in Carmarthen. From Carmarthen, we then headed down to Fishguard, where we caught the Stena line across from Fishguard to Rosslare. That takes around 3.5 hours. Again, highly recommended, very civilised, and we were very fortunate to be in the Premier Lounge, which is a very, very relaxed experience and a great way to spend 3.5 hours when you're on a ferry. So from Rosslare, we was then able to head across to our first night's accommodation here over here in Ireland. We stayed at a place called Mullinvat, which is just north of Waterford. Hope I got that right, and I hope I got the pronunciation right. That again, lovely accommodation, and was made to feel very welcome there, and great food, great company, so very enjoyable. And then from there we head down through to Cork. We did a pit stop at Cork. And there we was able to look at the Cork Gallows, which is an excellent exhibition of the old Cork jail. So anyway, from Cork, we was then able to head down to second night's accommodation here in Skibbereen. And like I say, this morning is going to be very much our first proper driving day, and we're going to be heading around to Sheep's Head and also Mizen Head as part of the Jaunted Cat Run. So let's see how we get on. So having left Skibbereen, we headed towards Ballydehob and then picked up the R592 down to Crookhaven. And then from Crookhaven we was able to navigate across to Mizen Head, then returning out to Juries on the R591. We then was able to head down to Sheep's Head, quite a long run down to Sheep's Head actually, but well worth it, as there's a good walk at the end comprising around 1.5 miles, very bracing. Day 2 we were able to set out from Kenmare on the R571, then branching off at Laura to take in the spectacular Healy Pass, heading down towards Castletown. From Castletown we was able then to carry on right to the end of the peninsula, where there's the famous cable car linking Dursey Island to the mainland. This has been recently refurbished in the last couple of years and is now reopened. From there we're able to backtrack on the R575 heading past Iris, and then back up to Laura, and then the R571 back down into Kenmare. There's the rainbow. A highlight of the trip is, of course, the Ring of Kerry. We started off from Kenmare, heading out on the N71, and then branched off at the R568, heading towards the Balaperna Gap, which is another mountain pass. And we was attempting to do the Ring of Kerry in an anti-clockwise direction. This is Jaguar versus sheep. Come on, out you come.
I was trying to feed.
Come on, out you come. You crazy sheep. Come on, you must do this all the time. The young one doesn't really know. And this section of road is not actually on the Ring of Kerry, but it's well worth doing to avoid some of the traffic that you might normally encounter on the N72 if you're coming across from Killarney. From there, we're stuck with the more traditional Ring of Kerry route, heading all the way round using the N70, the R565, the R566, heading round towards Waterville, and then picking up the N70, heading towards Sneem. All of this is very, very spectacular, and the scenery quite breathtaking, juxtaposed with seaside bays. From there, we're headed back to our base at Kenmare. Good morning. You join me here in the outskirts of Tralee in the west of Ireland at a local spa. We need to get some cash out. That's the reason I'm here. So this part of the holiday is really around the sort of city breaks. So you may recall from a previous update that we've done the 5 peninsulas of southwest Ireland. So that was a bit of a challenge, particularly yesterday, coming from the Dingle Peninsula across the Connor Pass heading towards Tralee. Single track mountain pass, you have to do them just to get the views. I didn't really anticipate having to reverse up part of the way of the pass just because of a blockage in the road. There was some motorhomes and some other cars. It was really, really busy yesterday. So just for awareness, this weekend has been a bank holiday weekend in Ireland, which is why it's been so busy, which thus meant the traffic was really, really busy as well. But anyway, all good fun. The Jaguar XJ6 lives to see another day. I'm really pleased there's no dents or scratches or anything, despite the 1,000 odd miles we've now done since starting the holiday. So that's really, really good news. Fuel consumption wise, it's been quite impressive. So whilst we was doing the motorways in the UK, we was getting around 47, 48 miles per gallon. Now it's dropped a little bit because we've been doing mountain passes on the peninsula and so on and so forth. So that's now probably low to mid 30s. Still pretty respectable, to be honest. So all good. So today we're off to Limerick, and then we'll go finish up at Galway. Then after we've done our overnight stop at Galway, we're across to the other side of Ireland to Dublin for a couple of days. Then we're back on the ferry into Wales, one final stopover, and then back home. Good morning. You join me here on the A5 on the way to Convoy. Last night we came across on the ferry back from Ireland to Holyhead. Stayed overnight, Anglesey Island, and now look at this beautiful setting we've got here up in the Welsh Mountains in the Snowdonia area at the moment. Absolutely stunning. So we'll be heading back to home, but we thought we'd take the more scenic route rather than the motorway, and I think we've been well rewarded already. Well, we've made it back okay. The XJ6 is absolutely fine, if not a little dirty from the travels. I need to do a summary of all the mileage we've done, but it's well over 1,000 miles and probably a couple of tanks of fuel as well. But the car's all back in one piece, if not a little dirty.